Hi, I'm Anita Lane, the creator of the Founder Chronicles, the podcast where we chronicle the critical decisions that founders make along their startup journey. Come learn and grow with us. You ready? Let's go.
Thanks, Anita. Today on the Founder Chronicles podcast, we are diving into the entrepreneurial journey of Chef Lori Rogers, the founder and CEO of Jam Vino wine-infused jam.
Yeah, Chef Lori, or Chef Lorious as she's known. She's quite a figure. Celebrity chef, cookbook author. Her book, Calibama Cooking, sounds fascinating.
Right, and that Calibama style, that's really key here, isn't it? This mix of Southern Alabama roots and Northern California life.
Exactly. It's Southern comfort food meets California chic. And that fusion seems central to Jam Vino.
Which is what we really want to unpack today for everyone listening. How Chef Lori didn't just make, another jam. She basically invented a whole new category, gourmet wine-infused jam.
Yeah.
Jam Vino.
It's a fascinating concept. Not just a flavor twist, but positioning it as something entirely new on the shelf.
So our mission today is really to explore how that happened.
Yeah.
The genesis of this idea and, well, its potential.
And we've got some good stuff to go in a feature article, a press release detailing her story, and the Jam Vino launch.
And you can't talk about potential without mentioning this huge win right away. Jam Vino actually won Walmart's golden ticket at the 2024 open call.
That is a massive deal. Landing on Walmart shelves, which is set for summer 2025, it's like the dream goal for so many entrepreneurs.
Huge validation. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The birth of this. It's a whole new category.
Right, because that's the core idea we need to keep coming back to. She wasn't just tweaking a recipe. She was creating gourmet wine-infused jam, a different kind of product.
And you mentioned her Calibama roots. How exactly did that that blend of Southern tradition and California wine culture lead to this specific idea?
Well, you think about Southern traditions, there's a lot of preserving, canning, making jams. It's part of the culture.
Right. Homemade goodness.
Then you pair that with Northern California, steeped in wine culture, appreciating nuanced flavors. She was perfectly positioned, maybe without even realizing it at first, to see a gap, a possibility.
And the origin story, it sounds pretty organic, not some big corporate R&D thing.
Not at all. It apparently started with just experimenting at home. She had some leftover berries, some leftover wine.
And she used it to jazz up grilled cheese sandwiches for her family. I love that.
Yeah, just making dinner more interesting. It wasn't about launching a product initially.
So it was kind of an accident.
In a way, yes. The real light bulb moment seems to have happened later. She was doing cooking demos, I think, at Williams-Sonoma.
Okay.
And people started asking about the jam she was using in her recipes. They were really curious about it.
Ah, so the demand sort of bubbled up from consumers directly.
Exactly. She actually said, that's when we knew we were on to something. The audience reaction told her this wasn't just a fun experiment anymore.
That's a great validation point. And the name, Jam Vino.
That came from her husband, Shane. He suggested it, and now he's working with her in the business, so it really became a family venture.
Okay, so we understand how this new category got started.
Yeah.
But what is Jam Vino, fundamentally? What makes this gourmet wine-infused jam unique?
So the basic idea is it's 100% fruit, but it's infused with the flavor profile of fine wine. That's the key distinction.
Infused with the flavor profile, but it's alcohol-free.
Correct. The alcohol cooks off during the making process, which is, well, pretty important for broad appeal.
Yeah, that definitely opens it up. But does keeping that wine flavor, the essence, without the alcohol, pose a challenge? Technically.
I'd imagine so. That's likely a big part of their unique process, figuring out how to retain those complex notes, the tannins, the fruitiness, the acidity associated with the wine after the alcohol evaporates.
Makes sense. And being alcohol-free means, anyone can enjoy it. Families, people avoiding alcohol.
Absolutely. It's positioned as a gourmet food item, not just a niche wine product. That expands the market significantly.
And the ingredients list. You mentioned it's quite simple.
Yeah, surprisingly so. Just 5 ingredients, all natural. That really resonates with consumers today, doesn't it?
Totally. People want clean labels.
And it ticks a lot of other boxes, too. It's kid-friendly, because there's no alcohol. It's vegan-friendly, and it's gluten-free.
So it covers a lot of dietary preferences and needs. Smart.
Very smart from a product development standpoint. Okay, let's talk flavors. They launched with 3 main ones.
Right, the flagships. Blackberry Merlot, Raspberry Moscato, and Strawberry Blanc. They sound sophisticated.
They do. And the descriptions match. The Blackberry Merlot is described as this velvety fusion having a rich, full body flavor.
Okay.
And they specifically mention it's ideal for charcuterie boards. You can just imagine that deep blackberry flavor with those subtle Merlot notes against cheese and meats.
Yeah, elevates a cheese board instantly.
Yeah.
What about the raspberry Moscato? Moscato is usually sweet, floral.
Right, and they describe this one as refreshing, floral, light, and fruity. But interestingly, they say it adds a surprising flavor pop to both sweet and savory dishes.
Like how?
So you could put it on toast, sure, but maybe also use it as a glaze for chicken or pork. Gives it that sweet, tangy thing.
Huh. Okay, that's versatile. Pushing the boundaries of jam.
Exactly. And the third one, Strawberry Blanc. That sounds like a mashup.
It is. Strawberries and blueberries married with Sauvignon Blanc. They call it the perfect marriage.
And the goal there seems to be balancing the berry sweetness with the crisp acidity you get from a Sauvignon Blanc. Makes it sound elegant, good for desserts, but also just on bread.
So beyond the wine infusion, a big part of this new category is this sheer versatility.
Definitely. The article stresses that. Pair it with cheese, pastries, yogurt, artisan bread, even use it in smoothies or as a glaze for roasted meats.
It's positioned like an easy way to make everyday food feel a bit more special, a bit more gourmet.
That's exactly the angle, taking something familiar like jam and giving it this elevated twist. And of course, it makes a pretty unique gift, especially for wine lovers.
Okay, fantastic product, clearly a new idea. But taking that from, say, Williams-Sonoma demos to potentially being in Walmart's nationwide, that's a huge leap. Let's talk about that Walmart Golden Ticket.
It really is a game changer. Walmart's open call event, it's specifically designed for U.S. entrepreneurs to pitch products, but it's incredibly competitive.
Like, how competitive?
Thousands apply. Only a small fraction get invited to pitch, and even fewer walk away with that golden ticket for guaranteed shelf space.
Wow. So how did Chef Lori even get on that path?
She actually found out about the open call through her network, which, just shows how important connections are in the food business.
Definitely. And it wasn't just having a great product that got her through, was it? The article mentions needing more.
Oh, absolutely not. Chef Lori herself said the application is really long, the odds are slim, and there's a lot that you have to have in order to go to retail. It's a different ballgame.
What kind of things? What do you need to have?
Well, basic stuff first, like proper business insurance. That's table stakes for big retail.
Right, liability.
Then, scaling up production. You can't just make jam in your kitchen anymore. You need certified co-packers. These are facilities that can produce large volumes safely and consistently.
Got it. Professional manufacturing.
Exactly. And knowing the regulations, state, food laws, federal requirements, plus things like certifications, like being woman-owned or minority-owned, which she is, can sometimes help.
And she mentioned e-commerce experience being useful.
Yeah, she noted that having some track record selling online, like on her own site or Amazon, shows Walmart that there's already proven demand for the product. It de-risks it a bit for them.
It sounds like a massive shift from just being a chef to being a full-scale business operator.
It really is. She made that distinction. The skills for making something great versus the skills for selling it at scale are very different.
That's a key insight for any founder. So what about the pitch itself? Any tips from her experience presenting Jam Vino?
She shared some really good ones. First, know your story. The why behind Jam Vino. What's the passion, the inspiration? Buyers connect with that.
Makes sense. It's not just a product. It's a brand with a story.
Precisely. Second, understand the retailer. Know their customer, their strategy. Why does Jam Vino fit Walmart's goals? Tailor the pitch.
Right. It's about them, not just you.
And third, be crystal clear on your unique selling proposition, your USP. What makes Jam Vino genuinely different and valuable compared to everything else on the shelf? Why should they choose this new category?
So nail down what makes it special and communicate that clearly.
Absolutely. And finally, she stressed listening. Really hear the buyer's feedback, their questions. Be prepared to learn from them and maybe even adjust. It's a partnership.
Sounds like the whole open call process, win or lose, is probably a huge learning curve.
No doubt. Just preparing for it forces you to get your business fundamentals in order.
Okay, let's bring it back to Chef Lori and the brand itself. Jam Vino is clearly so tied to her personal story.
It really is. That Calibama identity is woven right into the product's DNA. Southern roots, California flair.
And we mentioned the certification, certified minority owned by WBENC and NMSDC. That's significant too.
It is. It adds another layer to the brand story and can be important for supplier diversity initiatives that big companies like Walmart have.
And she's built quite a media profile over the years, hasn't she?
Oh, yeah, the list is impressive. Appearances on shows like Good Morning Washington, Good Day DC, Good Day Philly, Good Day Atlanta, Good Morning Texas.
Even Good Morning America. Wow.
Right. That kind of national exposure is gold for building brand awareness before you even hit national retail shelves. Plus, being an editor's top pick in Food and Beverage magazine adds that industry cred.
So if people are listening now and thinking, okay, I need to try this gourmet wine-infused jam, where can they get it?
Right now, it's online. You can find it at walmart.com, amazon.com, and on her own site, jamvino.com.
And then physical Walmart stores starting summer 2025.
That's the plan. Big launch coming up.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what are the big takeaways from Chef Lori's journey with Jam Vino, creating this whole new category?
I think the main thing is how she saw an opening, a white space, by blending her unique background, the jam-making tradition, and the wine appreciation. She didn't just improve something existing, she created something new, gourmet wine-infused jam.
Yeah, that category creation is the headline.
Absolutely. And the origin, that sort of happy accident combined with listening to early customer feedback, it shows innovation doesn't always come from a formal plan. Then translating that into a viable business ready for major retail like Walmart, that took strategic thinking, preparation, and understanding the business side, not just the culinary side.
So for our listeners, hopefully this look at Jam Vino gives some real insight into how a truly innovative food product comes to life, the challenges, and the kind of entrepreneurial spirit needed.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story of passion, creativity, identifying a niche, and then doing the hard work to scale it.
Thank you for joining us. We turn it back over to you, Anita.
That was great. Thank you for joining us today. And I hope you gleaned an insight or two from this deep dive. Founder Chronicles is original content written by the Sensei Communications team and narrated by AI. If you have a story that you'd like chronicled on our podcast, let us know. Send an email to mystory@founderchroniclespodcast.com. Until next time.